Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Cozy Chat, a slow English podcast which helps you to learn English in a fun and natural way. I am Maria, and today I'm going to tell you all about the vacation that I took to the United States. Now, as many of you know, I am American, but I live in Spain. So I live far away from my family, and I try to go visit them once a year. This year was a special vacation because usually I go back just to see my family, but this time I also had the opportunity to see lots of my friends from my childhood as well. In one of my recent videos, I talk about a story of how I became reunited with a friend that I had not seen in a long time, and it was very emotional for me. But today I'm going to talk to you all about the rest of my US vacation. So first off, I always have flight problems when I go to the United States. I don't know why, but usually one of my flights gets canceled or delayed, and it always causes me a lot of stress. This time, the second leg of my flight got canceled. You call a flight a leg if you have a layover somewhere. So I usually fly to Miami or Atlanta first, and that is the first leg of my trip. And then there is a second leg of that trip, which goes to where my parents live. And this time, the second leg of my trip, or the second flight, was canceled. And all of the other flights that went to where my parents lived were also canceled because there was bad weather. I was really scared because I thought maybe I would have to stay overnight at the airport, which I have had to do before. There was one time where I had to sleep on the floor of an airport, and I was really scared I was going to have to do that again. But luckily, I found another flight to a nearby airport, and I eventually made it to my parents' house. It always feels so good to get to my parents' house and to just be with them. It always feels like I'm at home. So it's always just a really nice feeling when I get there. And the following days after my arrival, we had a family reunion. A family reunion is when all of the family gets together and is just together. A reunion is when many people come together. With my family, it's always really fun because I'm able to see my cousins and my niece, and I have a new nephew, which is a little baby now. And it's just really fun to see them since we never see each other otherwise. And it's always just a really nice celebration. This time, my uncle made gumbo, which is a typical dish from Louisiana, actually. And it is a seafood soup that is spicy. And it is really delicious. This year, he taught me how to make it. And it's something that I think is fun to make and also really delicious. So I really enjoyed that part of eating my uncle's gumbo. And my uncle is my dad's brother. That's your uncle, and your aunt is your mother's or father's sister, aunts and uncles. It's also really good for my kids to play with their cousins. They don't have any cousins where we live here. So this is the one time out of the year that they are able to play with other kids, which are also family. Now, in the middle of my stay in my parents' house, I flew to my hometown with my girls and my mom, and we went there for my 20-year class reunion. And you may have seen my recent emotional story video where I talk about how I was reunited with my childhood best friend after a very long time. And it was on this trip that I saw her. So my parents do not live where I grew up. And I had not been to where I grew up in about 20 years, or maybe even more. So it had been a long time since I had been to where I have so many childhood memories. So this trip was really special to me. I have so many memories in different parts of the town where I grew up. I grew up in a very small town, and I loved where I grew up. And it was really neat to see how the town had grown and changed, and also how many of my friends were still there. It was so nice to see so many of my friends at the class reunion, which was a gathering of people from my school. We all graduated together. To graduate is to finish a period of school. So this was a reunion of my class that graduated together. And we went to a restaurant one night and gathered all together and shared stories and just talked about what we're doing now and how things have changed. And it was really so special just to talk to these people after such a long time. I had not seen them since I was a teenager, and this was really so special. Now that I think about it, it had only been about 17 years, I think, since I had been back. Not quite 20. It's hard for me to do math in my head. And the next day after this special event at a restaurant, we went to a new park, which is in my hometown, and everyone brought their families and their kids, and kids played together, and everyone just had a really good time. It was also fun while I was there to eat at restaurants that I used to love, get that same food that I used to love to eat. It is so nostalgic. Nostalgic is whenever you do something or think about something that kind of brings you back to positive memories in the past. And so being there and being with my friends and eating the food that I used to love from there made me really feel nostalgic. So we were there for about 3 or 4 days, and then we went back to my parents' house. At my parents' house, usually we spend lots of time in their pool. They live in a very hot place, and it is always just nice to relax and be in the pool and just to sit and talk to each other for a long time. Living so far away, we're not really able to do that. We're always talking on the phone, and sometimes that can be complicated too. And it's just really nice to be able to sit down and have real conversations face to face and to actually spend the day together. Because whenever we talk on the phone, it's like, oh, I can talk for 30 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. But when you're spending the day together, you just talk about more things that you're not going to talk about over the phone. And I really try to have as much of this time as possible when I'm with my family, because it really is so special. And it's probably my favorite part about going home. Another thing that I did while I was on my vacation was I played golf with my dad. My dad plays lots of golf. He has his whole life. And I have only played just a little bit. I took a class a long time ago, and I have not played since then. So I decided to just go with him one day and have him show me some things. So we played golf, and it was really fun. I had a really good time, and it really inspired me to play more golf. So we'll see if I'm able to do that at some point in Spain, because it's a really fun sport and I would like to get better at it. And he also shows my kids how to play golf. He gave them these little golf clubs, which are just for them. And they really had a fun time using them and playing golf. And it was all just a really fun thing to do together. I was there in total for about 2.5 weeks. I also made a video whenever I was packing for that vacation that you may enjoy if you haven't seen it already. So that was it, guys. What did you think about my US vacation? Have you gone on any vacations recently? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. Bye.